So here's another piece of the puzzle. Adam and Eve sinned against God. The question is, how does that affect us today? Well, the Bible says it does. It says that not only did that sin ruin their relationship with God, but it also ruined our relationship with God. I mean, think about it. Have you ever lied before? Ever? Have you ever looked at someone lustfully? You ever looked at a possession lustfully? Something that you could get or envy someone else's possessions? You ever stolen something? You ever had evil thoughts and actually acted on it? And lastly, have you ever, put something in the place of God? You put all your love and affection and time and worth into it and actually made it what the Bible calls an idol, something that the Bible is a concept of worship, something you talk about constantly, you think about it, you spend money on it, all your resources goes towards it. For a lot of us, it's hobbies or it's things or, it's a person, and we put that in the place of God. It could be a video game, TV, movies, whatever, fill in the blank. But we all know that we've broken God's law. If you answered any of those questions with yes, then you've broken God's law. In Romans chapter 3, verses 23, the Bible says that all have fallen short of the glory of God. You might have heard that before. You might, for yourself, have said that. Well, all have sinned. Everybody's sinned before. The point I'm getting at is probably about now you're probably, building a case for yourself, and probably a pretty good case about how good you are of a person. Maybe you're honest, or you in your eyes you haven't done much wrong compared to others. Or maybe you're real respectful of people, or you love people no matter who they are. Whatever. You can build a pretty good case about how good you are. But if you back up to what I just said, have you ever committed sin? It's true. So guess what? You've broken God's law.
If you're not living for him, you're against him. You hate him. There will come a day you will face judgment. You will stand before this holy, righteous God, and y'all gonna have to square off. This is God, the creator. You don't just tell him you want to do what you want to do. Adam and Eve just ate some fruit, and God said, you're out. You don't just sin against the holy, perfect creator of the universe and don't believe there's consequences. You don't do that to God. God is perfect, and he's just, and he will have to thrash you. So now, these are the raw facts. What are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? I'm going to tell you what we can do. Absolutely nothing. We can't pay the penalty. We can't give God excuses. I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. No. You need to pay the price. Well, what's the price, God? Death. Death.
So this is how God works. First, he judges sin. He tells the man, here is your sin. You know that God judges sin. If he didn't, he wouldn't be a good God. And friends, you and I, we are sinners. We are sinners.
We are a sinfully depraved people. We are a sinfully depraved people. What was Isaiah's response to God? It was not wow. It was woe to me. I am ruined. Ruin upon me. Destruction upon me. Misery upon me. And we read that and we think, isn't that a little overdoing it? Like destruction? This is where we realize that it is not about how small or large we would measure sin. What is significant is the greatness of the one who is sinned against. You sin against a rock, you're not very guilty. You sin against a man, you are guilty. You sin against an infinitely holy God, and you are infinitely guilty and deserving of infinite destruction.
So this gives us the picture that we are a rebel with a cause. We are a rebel against God. The cause is by nature we are rebellious. But why? It's because of Adam and Eve's sin. Like I said in the beginning, it not only ruined their relationship with God, but it also ruined our relationship with God. And it caused us to have a sinful nature. It says in 1 Corinthians 15:22 that as in Adam, all die. And it also says in Psalms 51:5, Behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. We have sinned, we have broken God's law, but instead of concerning ourselves with our ruined relationship with God, we concern ourselves with money, power, possession, pleasure, cars, iPads, iPods, clothes, women, men, friends, job, family, money, whatever, fill in the blank. So if it's true that we were made to be in a perfect relationship with God, to fellowship with Him and to know Him, then that means these things could never replace that need that we have for relationship with God. And now that original condition that God created Adam and Eve in is distorted and corrupted. And now we have a nature of sin, which means by nature we are rebellious against God. We have a nature that is actually sinful. But if that's true, then what hope is there for man?